What's up guys, this is Retro Collector 101 back here with another video, and in this video I'll be refurbishing this Game Boy Advance SP that I have right here. So basically this Game Boy Advance SP works perfectly fine, but I'm just going to give you this close-up right here. You can probably tell that the paint job on it was done poorly. So I actually have a little story to that. So in the past, basically, I saw this Game Boy for sale, so I decided to buy it, and it had a lot of scratches everywhere. So I decided to try to spray paint it, but it didn't go so well. So yeah, that's why the paint job is this terrible. So anyways, in this video, I'll be taking this Game Boy apart, then putting it back together in a different shell. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. I actually forgot to mention this, but actually one of my subscribers, Maximilian Rodriguez, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, told me to make a video like this one, so shout out to him or her for asking me to make this video as a suggestion.
So here's the Game Boy Advance SP. As you can see, the condition is not great at all. The spray paint job was not done well, mainly because it was actually quite difficult since my spray paint was not on my side. So you need a screwdriver for this process and the Game Boy. You also need the isopropyl alcohol, and just in case you want to make any cleaning adjustments for this Game Boy, if it has any corrosion for your case. For me, mine is pretty much fine, so I won't be doing that, but that's pretty much everything you'll need for this process. So now you just need to unscrew. So I basically sped up this process because it took me a while. You can pause this video if you need to do this yourself. So basically there are 5 screws that are surrounding the base that require a tri-wing screwdriver, and then there is one in the middle that is just requiring a basic Phillips head screwdriver. And that's basically it. So I'm on my last screw that requires the tri-wing, and now you just need to switch the head, get the middle one. Just so you know, there's actually just one screw that's connected to this washer over the battery, and that one does not come out. So yeah. So now, after taking out that battery, we have access to one more screw before taking off the back plate. So this one actually requires a tri-wing instead of the Phillips head screwdriver. So now let's just take that screw out. So yeah, my screwdriver, by the way, is automatic. So it requires a battery and it does it by itself. So now anyways, we got that screw out, and now you can carefully remove the back plate off of the Game Boy Advance SP, and now we have access to the motherboard. So now just looking at it, it seems like the board is fine. Doesn't seem like it has too much corrosion. I was actually playing it beforehand, so I know it works fine. Anyways, there's just a few switches that you can actually take out. It is one volume switch and then the power switch as well. Now taking a closer look, you can definitely see there's maybe a tiny bit of corrosion right by the power switch, or sorry, the volume rocker, but that should be fine. So let's just take out this plastic piece, and that should be good. So now there are just 3 different screws that you need to take out before taking off the motherboard. So why don't we get started? So here you can see me taking out the screws. I had to take off the 3rd one off camera because it was very worn out and took a lot of pressure. Anyways, now why don't we take off the motherboard, and we will now have access to the ribbon cable. So here you just want to be super gentle, because if you break it in any shape or form, that can actually ruin it and can affect it transmitting the video signals. So you just don't want to do that, or else you may not be able to have a working screen anymore. So they're just 2 picks that you just push, And voila, now you just have access to the motherboard. So if your buttons are unresponsive, sorry, then you can just apply some isopropyl alcohol on those contacts and it should be perfectly fine. So now after cleaning, you just need to take off these small little red pieces. I kind of struggled a bit on this process while doing it on camera. So I decided to take my, take my Game Boy off of camera and do it separately. So that's why you can see here that I'm doing a voiceover since I was not able to do this process on camera. So once you are finished with that process, you will have access to 5 screws. So you can just carefully take those 5 screws off as I will be doing right now. So these screws are what is holding this covering over the screen in place, and once you take them all out, it should be an easy removal of the screen. Then we will get to the hinges, which is probably the hardest part of this process. Now what you need to do is to take off the top shell so that taking off the hinge is much easier. So you want to make sure that you close down this Game Boy and then it's an easy removal of the top piece. Now you'll have access to the screen, and please do not try to take it off just yet because there is one more step you need to do before removing the ribbon cable. So what you actually need to do is to unscrew this little screw that you can find under the ribbon cable. Then you need to use a little bit of force to take off this part that is by one of the hinges, and it looks something like this. Now that you have taken out that piece, all you need to do is carefully remove the ribbon cable, and there you have it. There is the screen in perfect condition. Whoops. And yeah, that's basically it. Now we need to move into the last step before putting on a new shell, and that is removing these little hinges right here, because most shells actually don't come with these hinges since they're actually very hard to manufacture by third-party resellers. So anyways, why don't we try to take them out? So in order to take them out, you actually need to use a bit of force here. You need to use your screwdriver and to push into those little areas. And sometimes you just need to mess around with the positioning of the, the clamp shell. I had to do this also off camera, and you guys will probably have some problems with this step, and that is totally normal. Just know not to apply too much, because if you apply too much, then you may be breaking the shell in case you want to reuse it. So just try to find that perfect position by folding and refolding that clamp shell, and then it should come off easily. So now if you push it, it won't go flying out. You'll just see that there's this tiny little bit that pops out, and you can just use your nail to carefully pull it out. You'll need to use a little bit of brute force, and also to reapply pressure with the screwdriver again from the back end. So now you just need to apply a bit of force and do this step on both sides, and there you have it. It should easily pop off, then the shells should easily separate. Now we need to move on to the last step before cleaning the shell or doing whatever you guys plan on doing with this shell. In my case, I will be attaching a third-party shell to it to make it look like it's in great condition. Anyways, you just want to remove these triggers like so. It's nice and easy. All you need to do is really take it out by going down and up. It's very simple. There are just a few springs that you want to be careful with because you don't want them to go flying everywhere. So now after you take that out, you just want to take off this plate. if you want to do some spray painting or any washing to the shell. You'd also want to take off the sticker if you wanted to wash the shell, because these stickers aren't really waterproof, so you can easily use a blow dryer, or if you're very careful, you can use your fingernail. So I originally attempted to take it off, but after kind of failing, I decided that it's not really mandatory for me, since I did order a third-party shell. So I know it's only been like a second for you, but the shell that I ordered finally arrived. So this is going to be the new housing for the Game Boy Advance SP. This one was the old one that I took off or out in the first half of this video. So now why don't we open the shell? So usually I post every few days, and in this case I couldn't do that, so that's mainly because I had to wait a few days for this package to arrive. That's also why I didn't get a higher quality package. I got like a lower quality Game Boy shell because I decided to order off of Amazon since shipping there is faster. So right off the box, out of the box, sorry, we get this Game Boy Advance SP thing here that goes over the screen. So next up is the shell, then there are the screws. So I'm actually quite surprised that this came with the screws, and just so you know, I'm just doing a voiceover for this section. So yeah, there are quite so many. So after that, why don't we just put the screws in and just screw up this shell here over the screen. So yeah, let's just start off with that. So basically, here's just a quick montage, and there. So anyways, there's just one little problem that I faced when I was doing this process. So it turns out that the third-party screws that came with this parcel were actually quite bad quality, while the ones that were in the previous shell by Nintendo themselves were actually great quality. So it's a bit of a bummer, because now this screw right here couldn't really go in all the way, and it's already worn out, which kind of sucks. So now I cannot take it out, or maybe I can do the old rubber band trick. If you don't know what that is, it's a way of taking a worn out screw out, but I really don't know what to do. Like if you can see right here, if I put in this red thing, it just cannot fit in, and as like it can fit in the other spots, because like I was lucky enough for it to go in there, but just in the middle one, it's a bit of a bummer that it cannot go in. So I'm just going to speed up the process of myself doing it for the other ones. So now I am just about done. So next you want to put the ribbon cable from that screen through this little slip that you took it out from. And after that, you want to put in the side bolts. They should come in nicely. It'll probably take you some time to wiggle it in. Like you might have to open the shell up a bit and close it again. That's just how I got it in. It's a bit of a tricky process, but you'll start getting the hang of it a bit later on. So yeah, you can just open up the clamp, and I think it'll just slide in a bit better. So after that, what you need to do now is actually screw in this bottom piece that's basically going over the ribbon cable to cover it all up. So you can probably just see right there, that's the screw, and that's where it's going to go in. It's very common for you guys to miss it, so why don't we just screw it in real quick. So now that it is screwed in, you just want to put in the buttons. So here you just want to put in the A and B buttons, and then after that you just want to cover it with this little plastic thing that you will see a bit later on. So like right here, here's the little plastic thing that you want to put on top. Like just like so. And then after that, you want to put in the speaker. So you want to put the clear part of the speaker in first so that the metal pieces at the top can touch the motherboard. So now you want to do the ribbon cable. So you can just put it in just like so. And then after that, you can use your thumbs to push those little things that are holding it together. Now, after that, you can just put the motherboard down, and it's very simple from there on. Just gonna put in the 3 different tri-wing screws. So in my case, I didn't really have that many screws left that were good quality, so it took me some time to fill around. Now, make sure you remember to also put on the switches just before you put on the shell, because that's something I definitely forgot the first time I tried this. So after that, you can put the shell back on. It shouldn't be too difficult, but I actually forgot to do this beforehand. You just want to make sure that you remember to put in this square piece. It's metal, and that actually holds in this screw. I don't really know the big purpose of it. Like, if you miss it, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, it's just nice that you put it in there to hold in this screw that you can see right here that is covering the battery. So you can just screw it in a bit properly. So I'm just going to do that like so. It's not too hard. It's just a simple screw. Then after that, you will have 5 other screws to screw into place like so. So here is the final product. I'm not that disappointed about how it came out. I'm just a bit disappointed about that one screw that didn't really go in all the way. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for not posting for a while. It took me a bit longer for this process. But anyways, if you liked the video, please smash the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see me refurbish or replace the shell of another Game Boy in the future, just tell me down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to respond to you for that matter. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye.